This video will start introducing hardware installation, which is part 4 on the manual. First, we will go through how to install our material cartridge. Before we're doing it, please click Home E axis and Home I axis to home the two extruders. To make sure these two extruders go to the original positions, so we can install new material on it. We will demonstrate and display the silicone material. Our material will be filled within this cartridge. The capacity of the cartridge is about 100 milliliters. You can find a grid on the cartridge, which from 0 to 25,000, which is the volume of and capacity of the silicone material. You can find the consumption for each models on our software, the material you need to use for each models. It's very simple to install our material to the machine. You can find this screw, and you just turn clockwise to according material. For example, we go to part A material, go to the E axis, and just lock it clockwise and make sure it's go directly straightly. After installing both part A and part B silicone, we want to introduce how to extrude silicone material from the tubings. First, go to the manual control tab on your software. On the right, you can see extruders. There are E, I, J, K axis choices. Please click both E and I axis, and then click the bottom. On the lower, there's a plus 100 button, extrude material. It will be the lowest one of the 8 buttons. Make sure you click it, in which you can push both E and I axis, both material by 100. The number is the same as the number we see on a cartridge. The maximum value of each cartridge is about 25,000. So each time you press the button, it will push the material both E and I by 100. Click the button once each time. Please do not click it at a very fast pace. It will over extrude the material, and you may waste some silicone. You just click one button and wait for a while, and then click the next one. Right now, the E axis, we find material flows from E axis before I axis. And now what we can do is unclick E axis on the manual control tab. So in the following, we will only push I axis and not extruding E axis. Then we are going to introduce the 2-to-1 connectors and how to install them. This is a 2-to-1 connectors. You can see it can flow to part A and part B material, mix it, and then go to a valve, which can make sure there's no leaks during printing. And then we will tell how to install it. First, a 2-to-1 converter will use on the left nozzle for silicone material, and then we want to use a hex to unlock the cover of the left nozzle. When you unscrew the nut, you can take out the cover. It may be very tight, so make sure when you take out this cover, the nozzle is not at the original position. Make sure it's in the middle of the machine, so when you exert strong forces, you will not bump into the sensor. Please tweak it and take out the cover. You can find this internal structure. You can fit a valve of the 2-to-1 connectors. Make sure you add a cap. We will provide a cap, and make sure you reuse it each time. So when you change a new 2-to-1 connectors, you lock and take out the cap. Fit the 2-to-1 connector to the cover like this and lock the cap. And you need to turn the angle of the valve according to the motor inside, and the angle of the motor will depend on your previous printing. It may be 90 degrees or 45 degrees. So just make sure it's the same as the inside motor angle, like this, and mount it on the nozzle holders. Again, it may be very tight, so you need to lock it and make sure the nozzle is in the middle of the machine. When you screw the nuts, we can lock it by hand first, and then use a hexagon socket wrench to lock the 4 nuts of the cover. This is the steps to install 2-to-1 converter. We are going to demonstrate how to install support material. It is the same as the previous silicone installation. First, we need to install the cartridge of support material on the third axis, the J axis. And the following, support material does not require 2-to-1 converter. So the valve of the support material need to be directly mounted to the nozzle cover. First, let's remove the cover of the nozzle holder. Make sure you take it out softly. The valve of support material, we need to install a cap, and then mount the valve to the cover. Turn the pointer inside according to the servo motor and lock it back. Lock the cover to the support nozzle holder, and then lock it with screw and nuts. After finishing installing silicone and support material, and we already push out silicone material and mount 2-to-1 converter, we can now connect silicone tubing to the 2-to-1 converter. The method is pretty straightforward. We just connect the tubing to the connector. Then we need to install nozzles. We can mount the nozzles directly to the valve of silicone and support material. You should use nozzle with similar length for each nozzle. They should both be plastic or both be metal. Make sure two nozzles have similar length, otherwise you'll be damaging the machine during the calibrations. After installing nozzles and silicone and support material, we should place a release film to the machine. Place a A4 size release film on the printing plate. You may tweak the position according to the position you want to print, but make sure you should not cover or hinder the Z sensor in front of the machine. And then you can fix it with tapes. When we doing the printing, the object will be printed directly onto the release film, and you can take out the release film after printing and directly go to the oven to cure the silicone. In addition to release film, we can place a tissue paper on the tray to avoid damage